Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining Atlassian Team Tour Enterprise Edition. I'm Cameron Deach, the Chief Revenue Officer at Atlassian. Team Tour started as a way for Atlassian to share our own team practices and spread the concept of being an open company that fosters open teamwork. But the more we spoke with our largest customers, we realized that the sheer scale that many of you in enterprise organizations face demands a new approach to making your teams more effective. And while we're still unable to connect with you in person, we're excited to be here with you today virtually to focus on the challenges your organizations are facing and how we can best continue to support you and your teams. I hope that you enjoy the event, and we look forward to continuing the conversation.
Thank you, Cameron. At Forrester, we enjoy hearing from customers about their challenges and successes. Joining us next are Cassandra, Josh, and Jen from Nextiva to discuss their journey to the cloud and how this helped them digitally transform their organization, resulting in better team collaboration, enabling them to move work forward faster. Jen Lang is a Senior Project Manager of IT, Josh Costella is a Senior Atlassian Solutions Specialist, and Cassandra Anderson is the Senior Director of Sales Operations. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Josh Costella, and I'm the Senior Atlassian Solutions Specialist here at Nextiva. I've been in the technology industry for 20 years and have spent the better part of the last decade pretty much fully immersed in the Atlassian stack. Prior to Nextiva, I was an Atlassian Solutions consultant and was able to help several of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in the world fully optimize and get the most out of their Atlassian products.
Hi, I'm Cassandra Anderson. I am the Senior Director of Sales Operations at Nextiva. I've been with Nextiva for about almost 3 years now and came to really optimize our processes and equip our sales teams to be successful.
And I'm Jen Lang, Senior IT Project Manager for the Nextiva CIO organization. I've recently been given admin access to Jira and Confluence. It's actually the best part of my job. So Josh, tell us about your role a little more. Were you hired specifically to implement Atlassian products, or were they already in place when you started at Nextiva?
So technically both. When I first started, we had a small on-prem version of Jira, Confluence, and Bitbucket. However, the engineering team was using Rally at the time. So my first big task was to get the entire engineering department migrated from Rally to Jira. And then on top of that, at the same time, we were in the very early stages of our Agile transformation. So I was working with our Enterprise Agile coach to set up our teams and projects and Confluence spaces with the best possible configuration so that way that effort would be successful.
That's great. So how's your job changed since you first started this position? Can you tell us like the progression of the Atlassian product suite in terms of what was in place when you started and the various transitions or additions that you were involved in?
Sure. So I started in November 2017. And as I previously mentioned, we had just a small instance of Jira, Confluence, and Bitbucket that was on-prem. And back in March of 2018, that's when we started rolling out Jira Service Desk. And not too long after, Opsgenie and Status Page as well. And then in November 2019, that's actually when we migrated everyone from the on-prem version of Jira to the cloud. And basically, just a little background, the reason why we did that is because we had decided to roll out Confluence to the entire company, the entire organization here at Nextiva. And basically that would double our usage. So we needed a solution to scale quickly, and cloud ended up being that for us. And then really throughout the entire time since November 2017 when I joined, I would say it's pretty safe to say we've tripled our size in terms of Jira projects and Confluence spaces, as well as it's not just used by engineering and IT. These are all now products that are used by departments well outside of that as well.
So like what teams are using Atlassian at Nextiva, how do you think that using Atlassian has improved how they do their work?
So in the beginning, Jira and Confluence were pretty much a engineering and IT only set of tools. And as I just mentioned a second ago, now we have our entire company in Confluence. And we have around, I think it's, last I checked, we have around 15 Jira service desks for various support teams across the company. Some of those teams are our own internal Nextiva Atlassian team, which is my team, our security team, HR, our internal help desk team, as well as several of our operations support teams. And really, I think the biggest benefit of using the Atlassian suite so far is having the centralized tools gives us the ability to collaborate fairly easily. The built-in integration that we have between all the tools creates a fairly, I would say, seamless experience for the end user. And now that we have the entire company using Confluence, that ability to communicate and collaborate in one central location has been a pretty significant benefit for us. Which leads me to bring Cass into the conversation, because Cass, you're obviously a senior sales director here at Nextiva, and I know you have a unique perspective and experience with the tools, especially Confluence. So could you talk a little bit about how your team is using those tools and what your experience has been?
Sure, thanks, Josh. You know, Confluence started out for us as a place to put our OKRs for executive leadership and objective and key results. Now we track projects, and with every project, there are a number of initiatives, and we track all of that. And most importantly, we collaborate across teams to maximize productivity and efficiencies. You know, we used to work in silos, and now we've been able to create spaces for sales and marketing, sales operations, enablement, and we've been able to bring people together and create a new level of transparency. As a sales team, we really used to work arm in arm. And in March, we all moved home, and we've been able to not miss a beat with the collaboration tools. You know, our sales and marketing teams are more agile now than ever, and we get to collaborate with product and IT in ways that we didn't before. Our salespeople are selling Nextiva business communication solutions so that customers have a full view of their customer journey: voice, chat, email, collaboration. And in order to provide amazing service, which is one of our promises and our guiding principles, we need great communication internally between product and marketing, sales operations, enablement, and even customer support. So Atlassian provides us the tools that keep us working closely together. And Josh, I mean, this was a big migration to cloud, which, you know, was glad that we did that back in November. You know, if you were giving advice to anyone listening in today about migrating to a cloud, what would you tell them?
Well, there's definitely major differences between the products. They really are two different products that are developed from the ground up. So just like with anytime your organization is moving into a new product or technology, you want to make sure that, you know, you do that due diligence and your homework. And then, of course, make sure that whoever your team is, whether it's a third party or just your internal Atlassian team or resources, you want to make sure you give them as much lead time as possible before that migration. We were lucky enough to have no major problems when we did our migration. And actually, even our CTO, who has been at other organizations that have done several cloud migrations from, you know, Atlassian on-prem to cloud, he let us know that out of all of those, this is the one that went the smoothest, which is great for us to hear. And I really believe that is because of how much pre-work we did. Not only my team, but the other people that helped us as well in our organization. And then finally, I would just say, you know, don't be shy about reaching out to Atlassian support for guidance and assistance with the migration. You know, they'll make sure that there's a dedicated resource for you. for the time that you're doing your migration, whether that's a weekend or whenever the case is. And for us, they were incredibly responsive and incredibly resourceful and helpful for us throughout that entire process. And it was really invaluable. And one of the other people that was a big support for us throughout this entire thing was Jen. So Jen, from your perspective as a senior IT project manager, what were some of the challenges that you faced when we were on-prem versus where we are now in cloud?
Well, we're not allowed to install VPN on any personal devices. And the only way we could access Jira and Confluence prior to going to cloud was through our VPN. So when we went to cloud, I no longer needed a VPN to get to either of the tools. And I was no longer chained to my desk, and I could move around and still be responsive.
Yeah, definitely. I know that was a big benefit for a lot of our users, and I've heard that similar feedback from them as well. And now that we have the tools spread out among the organization, how has that transformed the way you manage your projects and programs?
Well, the ability to share and track information alongside other departments and teams is really invaluable for any project manager. We don't want to have, as Cass pointed out, silos of information. Email is great, but it can sometimes end up being a black hole, and people's mailboxes fill up and then they don't respond, and then you're having to reach out to them again and again, and that wastes time. Being able to create Jira tickets and have Confluence spaces and pages that can be shared throughout the company and controlled as far as how you share them throughout the company, it just makes sense.
Yeah, I completely agree. So since we've moved to cloud, have there been any features that you've discovered or been a part of being able to use that have given you any kind of significant benefit?
Absolutely. The new advanced roadmaps have really opened up a new world of presentation. I had relied previously on Gantt charts prior to using Jira for years to identify schedule slippage, workload, and we tried a number of plugins when I first started with Nextiva, and you were instrumental in helping me try to get those installed and workable, but they were either too cumbersome, finicky. Some of them were actually invasive or dangerous to use with the Jira tickets because they could affect the actual settings and fields within the Jira tickets. But advanced roadmaps ended up being exactly what I had been looking for the last 2 years. It provides as high level or detailed view as you want. You can have different views as needed, different plans. You can use the different, what was the name of the feature where the scenarios, that's what it was, thanks. Josh helped me set up an executive level plan view that shows it actually shows just the epics and the milestones so that the CIO can present just the project load in real time, concise, visual, doesn't have to see all of the tasks involved. There was one custom field for the milestones, and with some filters, we can choose which epics to show or not show on the roadmap. Honestly, on the overall, I think the general opinion from everyone is that migrating the Atlassian stack to the cloud and aligning all the teams on the same products across the organization has really furthered Nextiva's agile transformation journey and enabled us to collaborate faster, more efficiently, making it easier to get projects and all work done. It's really important to have partnerships with companies like Atlassian so that Nextiva can continue to provide the amazing service it's known for. The Atlassian suite, it's one of the fuels that allow Nextiva to power human communications and connections.
That was a great discussion, and thank you so much again, Cass, Josh, and Jen, for sharing. Thanks for coming, and stay safe during this time.